We need to talk about a word that has been quietly poisoning your ambition. It's a word that sounds healthy, wise, and mature. It's a word you're praised for pursuing. That word is balance. You've been sold this beautiful, comforting lie that a successful life is a perfectly balanced scale. A little bit of work, a little bit of play, time for friends, time for family, hobbies, meditation, and a perfectly curated morning routine. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it? It's also the most effective anesthetic for a life of quiet desperation. Balance is the enemy of extraordinary. It's the handshake you make with mediocrity. The people who built empires, who changed science, who created art that outlived them by centuries. Do you really think they were balanced? Or were they possessed? They were obsessed. They were jagged, sharp, and utterly consumed by a singular, burning purpose. They disappointed people. They missed weddings and birthdays. They were called selfish, strange, and unhealthy. Because they understood a fundamental truth you've been encouraged to forget. You cannot achieve a 10-10 result with 4-10 effort distributed across 10 different areas. Greatness isn't well-rounded. Greatness is a spear point, honed to pierce through the noise and indifference of the world. This pursuit of balance is why you feel so busy but so stagnant. You're spinning a dozen plates, and the energy you expend just keeping them from crashing is the same energy you could be using to build a skyscraper. You're not actually moving forward, you're just managing chaos. You're perfecting the art of staying in the same place. And the most dangerous part, it feels productive. You tick off your to-do list, you answer your emails, you go to the gym, you meditate. But the one thing, the big, terrifying, meaningful thing you're meant to be doing, remains untouched. Why? Because doing that thing would require you to let the other plates fall. It would demand a sacrifice. And you've been taught that sacrifice is bad, that it means you're doing something wrong. But I'm here to tell you that sacrifice is the entire game. It's the price of admission to a life that matters. So let's be brutally honest with ourselves. This isn't about time management. It's about energy management. And your energy is finite. Every single thing you give your attention to, no matter how small, is a withdrawal from your account. That mindless scroll on social media isn't just 10 minutes lost. It's a withdrawal of your focus, a dip in your dopamine baseline that makes real work feel harder. That piece of gossip you listen to, that's a withdrawal of your mental clarity. That junk food you ate, that's a withdrawal from your physical energy for the next 4 hours. You are bleeding out from 1,000 tiny cuts every single day, and you wonder why you don't have the strength to fight the main battle. Focus isn't about adding more productivity hacks. It's not about a new app or a different planner. It's a blood sport of elimination. It's about taking a long, hard look at your life and asking a terrifying question. What am I willing to set on fire? This is where most people get off the bus. The idea of true elimination is deeply uncomfortable. It's not tidying up, it's demolition. We're taught to accumulate more friends, more skills, more hobbies, more experiences. The thought of cutting things out feels like a step backward. Your brain, your primitive, comfort-seeking brain, will scream at you. It will invent 1,000 excuses. What if I need this later? This is just how I relax. I'll be missing out. That resistance, that pang of anxiety you feel when you consider deleting Instagram, or saying no to a social gathering, or unplugging the television forever, that is the signal. That's where the gold is buried. That feeling of discomfort is your compass pointing north. If it was easy, everyone would do it and the top of the mountain would be a parking lot. So, where do we start? We start with the obvious. Your phone is not your friend. It is a dopamine slot machine designed by engineers 1,000 times smarter than you, with the sole purpose of keeping you hooked. The notifications, the infinite scroll, the little red bubbles, they are weapons of mass distraction. You don't put it on silent. You don't put it in the other room for an hour. You turn it off for a day, then for a weekend. You starve your brain of the cheap, easy stimulation it has become dependent on. The first few hours you will feel an itch you can't scratch. You'll feel phantom vibrations in your pocket, That's withdrawal. Sit with it. Let it burn, because on the other side of that fire is freedom. Every time you resist that urge to check, a new neural pathway in your brain strengthens, the pathway of intention over impulse. Slowly, painstakingly, you rewire your reward system. The validation hit from a like starts to feel cheap and empty compared to the deep, resonant satisfaction of 3 hours of uninterrupted, bone-deep focus on your craft. Next, you audit your social life with the cold, detached precision of a surgeon. This is the part that hurts. Look at the people you spend time with. Who leaves you feeling energized and inspired, and who leaves you feeling drained and foggy? Who talks about ideas and ambitions, and who only talks about other people? Who respects your mission, and who sees it as an inconvenient obstacle to your availability for them? You cannot surround yourself with people who are content with the average and expect to be anything but. You will lose friends. Let me repeat that. You will lose friends. People will call you selfish. They will try to guilt you. They will resent you for holding up a mirror to their own compromises. Love them from a distance. Wish them well. But you have to let them go. Your environment, which includes the people in it, will always win. Building walls around your time and your mission isn't antisocial. It's a profound act of self-preservation. And this brings us to the most powerful part of this whole process, the addiction switch. Most people are terrified to eliminate their vices because they think their life will become a barren, joyless wasteland. They can't imagine a life without Netflix binges, or scrolling, or a beer at the end of the day. But they're missing the point entirely. You are not getting rid of your addictive nature. You can't. It's a core part of your wiring. What you are doing is changing your supplier. When you systematically starve your brain of all the cheap, low-effort sources of dopamine, all of that raw, hungry, restless energy has to go somewhere. It can't just disappear. It's going to latch onto the only thing you have left, the one thing you have defined as your purpose, the work. Suddenly, the same desperate craving that had you reaching for your phone now has you itching to get back to the problem you're trying to solve. The work itself becomes the fix. That moment when you finally crack the code, when the paragraph flows perfectly, when the business model clicks into place, that becomes your new high. And here's the beautiful part. It's a high you control. It's a high you have to earn. It isn't passive. It isn't handed to you. And because of that, it's 100 times more satisfying. The pride of creation, the thrill of progress, the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you built something with your own 2 hands and your own focused mind. No mindless distraction in the world can compete with that. You stop needing external validation because the reward is internal. The applause of the crowd becomes static compared to the music of your own momentum. This journey transforms you into something different. You start to see the world in terms of leverage and drain. You develop an almost allergic reaction to mediocrity and wasted time. Small talk becomes physically painful. You lose patience for anything that doesn't serve the mission. It can be a lonely road. You might look up one day and realize you speak a different language from everyone around you. They're talking about the latest TV show, and you're obsessed with a problem they can't even see. This is the price. But you will also start to recognize others like you. You'll see them in the library, in the gym at 5 a.m., in the coffee shop hunched over a laptop. You'll recognize the same hunger in their eyes. You don't even have to speak. You just know, these are your people now, the tribe of the obsessed. So let's make this practical. How do you actually live this? You don't need motivation, you need architecture. You have to build a system around yourself that makes focus the path of least resistance. Your environment is everything. Your workspace should be a sanctuary, not a playground. It should be sterile. It should be boring. Mine has a desk, a chair, my computer, and a notepad. Nothing else. No decorations, no mementos, no clutter. Because every object is a potential distraction, a tiny thread that can pull you out of the deep. If you have to rely on willpower to avoid distractions, you've already lost. Willpower is a finite resource that depletes throughout the day. Instead of trying to be a disciplined person in a distracting environment, be a normal person in a disciplined environment. Build a cage for your impulses. Make it easier to do the work than to escape it. Leave your phone in a timed lockbox in another room. Use apps that block distracting websites. Create so much friction between you and your vices that it becomes a chore to even access them. You need a ritual, not a routine, a ritual. A ritual is a sacred series of actions that tells your brain that the world is about to shut out and it's time to go to war. It could be making a specific cup of tea. It could be listening to the same song. It could be 10 minutes of stretching. The actions themselves don't matter. What matters is the consistency. The ritual is the trigger. It's the gateway into the zone. You do it every single time without fail before you start your deep work block. Eventually, your brain becomes conditioned. The ritual starts and the focus follows automatically, like Pavlov's dog salivating at the bell. And you must put the hardest thing first. Always. Before you check your email, before you read the news, before you talk to a single person. Your first hour of the day, when your mind is fresh and your willpower is at its peak, belongs to your most important task. That's your sacred hour. You defend it against the world. Win that first battle of the day and you build momentum that carries you through everything else. Most people do the opposite. They start their day with reactive, low-value tasks like checking email, and by the time they get to the important work, their best energy is already gone. They give their best to other people's agendas and leave the scraps for their own dreams. This isn't about becoming a robot. It's about becoming a professional. An amateur works when they feel inspired. A professional works whether they feel like it or not. There will be days you wake up and you do not want to do it. You'll be tired, you'll be discouraged, you'll be bored. You do it anyway. Showing up on the bad days is what separates the winners from the wannabes. Every time you push through that resistance, you are casting a vote for your new identity, the identity of someone who finishes what they start. The feeling of victory on the other side of a difficult, unwanted session is what builds true, unshakable self-respect. The end game here is a life of alignment. It's when every part of you, your environment, your habits, your relationships, your thoughts, is moving in the same direction. There's no more inner conflict. There's no friction. You're not wasting energy negotiating with yourself anymore. You wake up and you know what you have to do, and you want to do it because the process itself has become your purpose. You're no longer chasing happiness. You're building meaning. And meaning is infinitely more resilient. Happiness is fragile. It depends on external conditions. Meaning is what you have when you've sacrificed everything for something you believe in. So I want you to look around at your life right now. Look at your desk. Look at your phone's home screen. Look at your calendar for next week. Look at the people you're messaging. And ask yourself, is this the life of a champion? Is this the environment of someone destined for greatness? Or is this the comfortable cage of someone playing it safe? If you want to change your results, you have to be willing to change your reality. And that change starts with one simple, brutal act of elimination, one sacrifice, one decision to stop balancing and start building. Choose your mission, burn everything else, and watch how fast you rise from the ashes.